Welcome to episode 4 of the MetaMagix Monster Manual and the next chapter in the series, the Dead by Daylight chapter. I have found myself playing a lot of Dead by Daylight recently, mostly over on twitch.tv/metafamous, linked in the description below. And I figured the next game that has the mechanics necessary to be a perfect addition to Dungeons & Dragons should be Dead by Daylight. Now, for those of you who may not have heard or played Dead by Daylight before, Dead by Daylight is a 4 versus 1 asymmetric multiplayer game where 4 survivors attempt to escape the clutches of one killer who is undefeatable by the survivors. The objective of the survivors is to turn on 5 generators in the map that they are dropped into, power the exit gates, and escape from the killer before he kills everybody. Now, obviously, we can't have an actually unkillable NPC go up against the party. However, I do hope that this stat block still keeps the theme of the doom and gloom and terror found in Dead by Daylight, but is able to transfer over to Dungeons & Dragons. As always, you can find a link to this stat block and all my other stat blocks down in the description below, which will link you to my Twitter where I will have them posted. So without further ado, let's look at the first page of the next chapter of the MetaMagix Monster Manual, The Trapper from Dead by Daylight. To begin, this stat block and subsequently any encounters designed around it are meant for a party of low-level characters, probably around level 3, as any higher and this encounter will prove to be probably not much of a challenge. Or if you want a nice ideal experience, probably around level 5. So to begin, the Trapper is classified as a large humanoid with the Chaotic Evil tag. He has an armor class of 13, wearing studded leather armor, a hit point value of 100 hit points exactly, and a movement speed of 35 feet, signaling how he is always just a little bit faster than most player characters. For the stat array, the main focus here is on the strength and constitution being above human standard at 16 and 18 respectively, with the rest of the stats being relatively normal with a 12 dex, 10 intelligence, 12 wisdom, and 10 charisma. Trapper has a specialty in saving throws with a +6 and a +6 to athletics checks with advantage. Now, in order to keep with the theme of Dead by Daylight, the Trapper is immune to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical attacks. However, if your party composition consists of a party that is not really specialized in magic or has many magic weapons, you could change this from an immunity to a resistance if it calls for it. The Trapper has 30 feet of dark vision and a passive perception of 11, speaks no languages, and is a challenge rating of 5. Moving on to the abilities, the Trapper's main bread and butter is his bear traps. The Trapper begins the encounter with 1d6 bear traps. See Xanathar's Guide to Everything, page 113 for more information on bear traps, placed around him within 60-foot radius at locations of the DM's choosing. A successful DC 15 Wisdom Perception check reveals the trap. The creature hit by the trap has its speed reduced to 0. It can't move until it breaks free of the trap, which requires a successful DC 15 strength check by the creature or another creature adjacent to the trap. A successful DC 15 dexterity check using Thieves' Tools disables it. As a bonus action, the Trapper may set a bear trap at his location. He may also collect 1 trap per turn, no action required, and starts the encounter with 1d4 bear traps on him. Now, every killer in Dead by Daylight has 3 unique perks to them, and these are the Trappers as translated to the stat block. First up, there's Agitation. The Trapper may move normally while grappling another creature of medium size or smaller and has his movement speed increased by 5 feet while doing so. Next up is Brutal Strength. The Trapper may use a bonus action instead of an action when attempting to break objects or structures. And finally, the Trapper has Unnerving Presence. Each creature within the Trapper's choice that is within 30 feet of the Trapper and aware of it must succeed on a DC 10 Wisdom saving throw or become frightened for 1 minute. A creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. If the creature's saving throw was successful or the effect ends for it, the creature is immune to the Trapper's Unnerving Presence for the next 24 hours. For his actions, the Trapper has a single slash attack, +8 to hit, 5 feet, 1 target, and does 13 or 3d6 +3 slashing damage. Now, given the special nature of this encounter, the Trapper has been granted a single legendary action and can choose from the 2 below, starting with a slash attack, where the Trapper makes a single slash attack, or the move action that allows the Trapper to move up to his movement speed without provoking opportunity attacks. Now, I was going to add a hook mechanic, as the game Dead by Daylight has, where the killers hook survivors onto the entity's sacrificial hooks, but I would probably like to flesh that out more, as I think there could be some creative things you could do with that. So I'm probably going to wait until I get to the end of this chapter before I actually publish that in one of these videos, so stay tuned for that. But that is how I would run the Trapper from Dead by Daylight in D&D. As a DM, I feel like you could do a lot of really creative things with this. You can make a lot of creative environments to place the traps around, make some really scary low-level encounters for your players using this stat block. That is going to do it for me today, guys. If you have any suggestions on how you would change or improve this stat block, please leave your suggestions in the comments below. I'm excited to see what you guys think about this. And again, link to the stat block in the description below. Take it, use it, have fun with it, guys. But until next time, have fun, stay safe, and as always, happy gaming.